The last time Tamil cinema filmmaking duo Pushkar Gayathri put their creative might behind a show, the result was Sudal, a beautifully layered crime drama and one of Amazon's first Tamil original series, not to mention one of the finest shows of 2022. Now the duo are back with Amazon's next Tamil original, Vadhandhi, except here they serve as creative producers. This series is created, written and directed by Andrew Lewis, and it begins, as most shows do these days, with a murder. Like Sudal, Vadhandhi is also a murder mystery, but the ambition here is more specific. When a young girl from Kanyakumari named Veloni, played by Sanjana, is found murdered, the investigation and her story quickly grabs the attention of the media. Gossiping and speculating about her case and character soon become dinner table conversation. On the scene to investigate and find answers is Sub-Inspector Vivek, played by S.J. Surya. The 8-episode series follows the ongoing whodunit-style narrative while giving us flashbacks of Veloni's life and who she was, to help piece together what happened to her. Vadhandhi, which means rumour, uses the investigative thriller packaging to explore our twisted perceptions and implicit bias towards women. Put simply, when a young girl is killed, for many, the first question isn't why and who did it. It's what could she have done to bring this on herself? We see as the media has a field day of speculating and sensationalizing Veloni's story, calling her character into question. In one scene, the crooked head of a news channel says, "Good girls go to heaven, but bad girls go everywhere, and I want my news to go everywhere." We see how, when she was alive, everyone from her neighbors to her creepy controlling fiancé to all the men around her longed for her and lust after her. Even Veloni's shitty mother calls her a flirt because of the way men look at her. Even after her death, police officers imply that she must have been easy and a tease. You can't help but appreciate the ambition of this show to use a tense murder mystery to challenge our patriarchal perceptions. It's essentially the equivalent of what if the male gaze was a show. I couldn't help but think of the recent real-life horrific murder case of a woman in Delhi where a minister actually blamed educated girls choosing to be in live-in relationships as the cause. And yet, well-intentioned as it is, Vadhandhi makes for a serviceable, blunt, uneven ride. The simplistic, strictly surface-level drama offers little subtlety. The pitch is loud and at times shrill, and there's something distinctly stilted and self-conscious about the series. Vadhandhi lacks that final finishing of narrative finesse that separates a competent story from a compelling one. Its unrefined, jagged edges make you feel like you're watching the first draft of something rather than the finished product. The series doesn't have that distinct, self-assured storytelling quality which makes performances feel lived in, dialogue come to life, and which makes everything just click into place and allows us to get lost in a story. Even on paper, Andrew Lewis's plotting and pacing fails to structure this story effectively across a long-form 8-episode series. The pilot episode, for example, doesn't build the central mystery as much as you'd like. Instead, it's at the end of the second episode which gives us a solid introductory, establishing the stakes cliffhanger that leaves you wanting more, the kind that should have come earlier. Vadhandhi does admittedly get more engaging as it goes on as we delve deeper into the investigation and a list of suspects, but then it loses its footing again in the tired, overly extended final stretch. Entire episodes are dedicated to pointless red herrings. Episodes 6 and 7, for example, are about people who could have done it, but actually nope, they obviously didn't. Misdirection and alternate suspects are supposed to keep us guessing, not tire us out. So much so that when we do get the big final reveal of who the killer really is, it just doesn't pack the punch that you'd hope. Even the sense of atmosphere and visual dread that can be essential for a story like this here feels serviceable at best. Throw in the overactive background score that seems hell-bent on adding tension and telling us how to feel, not to mention the jarringly patchy dubbing in portions. I don't know why we're made to tolerate shoddy sound work in 2022, but okay, sure. It doesn't help that none of these characters really leap off the screen and stay with you. I enjoyed S.J. Surya's admirable screen presence and conviction as Sub-Inspector Vivek, the cop who slowly becomes obsessed with the girl he's seeking justice for. But he just isn't an interesting enough character to mount an entire series around. But tragically and ironically, where Vadhandhi really falls short is its treatment of its female characters. For a show about the shortcomings of how we perceive women, the female characters here feel wafer thin. Whether it's Veloni's annoying one-note mother or Sub-Inspector Vivek's wife who's presented as whiny and needy, But above all, it's Veloni herself who's the biggest failure here. The show wants to double up as a character study which takes us inside her head, but we barely get a sense of her beyond the one line of a pretty girl who feels trapped. It's next to impossible not to make countless stood-out comparisons, which did a far superior job of escalating tensions, layered writing and memorable performances. Instead, Vadhandhi is a planned, passable murder mystery that risks undoing everything it's trying to say about patriarchy with its own storytelling. There's an art to intrigue and crafting an intricate series of events that keeps us guessing and constantly on our toes. Instead, Vadhandhi keeps you very much horizontal as you impatiently wait around for the next meaningful thing to happen. You can watch Vadhandhi, The Fable of Veloni on Amazon Prime Video.